Hey Shield Wall Nation, back again with another video, and this video is going to be about the mistakes I've made and I've heard other people make when they have decided to join the military. Now, the one of the biggest mistakes I've heard were people joining the incorrect branch that it didn't suit them. You do have the Air Force, Army, Navy, and the Marines. You also have Coast Guard. Each one of them are completely different in their own respective ways. So one thing you need to do is to look into each one and how their deployments work, how their training works, how units work, how their overall atmosphere are, just because it's completely different and it may not suit you. And I know people that have joined the Navy, in fact, and they said they hated it. They absolutely hated it. They wish they went Army, just because they had a friend that went Army, and both of them were very similar in their habits and their mannerisms and overall personality, that it fit well with the Army. And that friend that went Army actually did a lot of research into it, and that's why he chose Army, so that my Navy friend actually regrets it. The other one, in fact, is a big one as well, is when you finally join your military branch that you want, or finally pick the military branch that you want to join, you choose the first or second job that is thrown to you. And the recruiters do this because they like to give you a bit of false information. They have these jobs that they need to fill. There's a shortage, right? And they need to fill those specific jobs. And in order to fill that, they will suddenly have an email that comes across saying, hey, we need to fill these jobs. And then they go to the recruiter or the recruit and go, hey, these are only 3 jobs available: cook, infantry, and sometimes it's some sort of special forces career. That's not true. That is not true. They have other jobs that they can fill, but they don't want to because they need to fill these other ones. So they decide to lie. And that's happened to quite a few people, not me. So keep asking, say, no, I know there's more, keep looking. And if they don't, say, okay, then forget it. I'm not gonna join. I'll go join, let's say you're talking to an Army recruiter, I'm gonna go join the Navy. Forget this. If you guys are not gonna be truthful to me, then why should I join you? And guess what? They might not right then and there go, okay, hold on, let me check real quick. Usually we get updates and, new things every hour, and I think it's close to that. And of course, they'll look, or a couple days later, hey, buddy, how's it going? We actually got some new jobs across. You want to come in the office? We can go over them. What jobs did you want again? Oh, you wanted to be, working with a tank? Hey, yeah, that just came across. It's weird because you asked yesterday, we didn't have it. Now today we do. That'll happen. So don't settle with the first 3 jobs they throw at you. Be vigilant and choosing the one you want, which goes into my other point, is picking a job that you can do while you get out of the military and you go back in the civilian world. Now, don't do infantry. I don't want to say that, or don't do, I don't know, the guys with the flags on the ships. Don't do that. Do something that you can do when you get out. Join the medical field. Use that free tuition that you get from the military to then get your degree and become a nurse or a doctor. Become a helicopter mechanic or pilot, because then you can do that when you get out. And you can make good money and steady money. Be a communications expert and in whatever military branch, and then you can do that working for Verizon or AT&T or another company that deals with that, make good money. If you have the passion to be a cook or a chef, go and be a cook in the military. Get your experience through there. Hone your skills of dicing and mincing and slicing and filleting and this and this and that. So then when you get out and you have that skill, and then you implement, your own recipes while you're in the military, and not for the military, but you're at your barracks or at your home, and you have that passion, and then all of a sudden you have these recipes that you want to put into your restaurant, and guess what? You had 20-something experience in military experience in cook, being a chef, and now you have your restaurant. It looks good. So I'm going to reiterate, choose a job that will benefit you when you get out. I made that's one of the biggest mistakes I made. I didn't do that. Well, I kind of did when I went to the Air Force. I was, like I mentioned in my first video, I was a medic. I could have progressed, and then eventually got out and maybe been a nurse. Of course, I had to get recertified for the civilian side of everything, but I could have been a nurse. Maybe a doctor, depending on what I wanted to do and what path I could take within the military. And then I switched and became a Cav Scout, and that's kind of held me back a bit. I could do, as I've done before, personal security and private security, armed security. I could do that, but at some point my body's going to be like, no, you can't do it anymore. And then what am I going to do for the rest of the years until I actually have to retire? So there's that. And the other big mistake when you join when you're deciding to join a military branch, or what you want to do in the military branch, is lie. Do not lie, because they will find out. They may not find out right away, but they won't find out right then and there when they do a background check, or they won't find out when they do a medical check, medical evaluation at MEPS. They won't find out then, but they will find out. And if they find out, let's say a year so down the line, that you've had this medical condition before you join the military, you'll get dishonorably discharged. And that would look bad on your record, because I would much rather just not be in the military than go into the military and get dishonorably discharged. Because a lot of employers will not hire someone that's dishonorably discharged. Because then let's say you start lying to those employers, say, oh no, I never joined the military. Or I did, oh, it was just a general discharge. They'll look it up. They can find it and find out you're dishonorably discharged. You're in big trouble. They can fire you right then and there for lying. Lying on documents. So if you have a physical condition that you think is major or minor, tell the recruiter. They can go and get you evaluated somehow, take you to MEPS and get evaluated somehow, and if you pass, you pass. If you don't, you don't. But be truthful to your recruiter. It makes their job easier, their life easier, and most importantly, makes your life easier. Another thing that the recruiters really, they don't tell you is when you sign up for a 4-year contract, right? They say you only have to serve 4 years and then you can get out. That is not true. Not true. Once you initially sign up, you sign a 4-year contract, but you actually have an 8-year contract. Those 4 years of active duty, and then if you get out after those 4 years, you still have 4 years of reserve. Now, you don't have to be at a reserve unit. You can be a normal civilian doing your normal civilian things, but once they call you up, you have to legally go. Now, if those 4 years of your active duty is done, and then these 4 years of reserve are done, your total of 8 years are done, you're off the list. You'll get your DD 214 in the mail saying thank you for your service. You have a great day, and if you want to join again, you can. So yeah, don't let the recruiters tell you it's only a 4-year contract. It's not true. Now, after your 4 years, you can then sign a 2-year contract. So then there's your 6 years, and you still have 2 years of reserve if you get out after that. So there's that. So be careful when a recruiter says that you can sign a 4-year contract, but really you're signing an 8-year contract. And the last thing of many things I can talk about talking to your recruiter and regrets people make, is the fact that people do not pay attention, nor do they care about the ASVAB. My school, we had to take the ASVAB test. There's some schools that may not make it mandatory. There's some schools that if you want to, you can come down to the auditorium, take it. But when you take it, I highly suggest you do your best on it. Sometimes you'll actually have to take it. They'll send you to MEPS to take it as well, or in fact, you can take it at the practice tests at the office and then officially take it at another location. But when you are taking the test, I highly suggest focusing on it. Pay attention, do your best at it. Now, if you know you're not going to do very well, like I said, there's study tests, there's study guides, there's all sorts of things you can do in order to heighten it. You can go and pay for tutors in math if you need to, but there's ways to get better. But do your best on these tests. These tests determine what you do in the military. Now, if you want to be some awesome career, let's say in nuclear engineer on a submarine, you're going to need like a 97, I believe, on the ASVAB. That's a hard score to get. But if you don't, then you got very limited options. As the lower your score goes, the options you have limits to almost nothing. So focus on your ASVAB. Do very well on your ASVAB. That'll benefit you the most, because once you walk in there and they check your ASVAB score from high school, or once they finally get you and talk to you and finally get you to take the test, because they really can't look at any jobs until they find out what your ASVAB score is. So they finally get you into shape of mental shape to take the ASVAB. You take the ASVAB and you get a good score, that benefits you and makes the recruiter's job so much easier, because they go, well, guess what? You wanted this job, there's this job. You also have these 90 other jobs. Which one do you want? Pick. So I hope that kind of helps you out. I know a lot of questions I've actually got this from were grandmas and moms and dads and grandpas that have some younger kid in their life that is in high school and talking about joining the military. So there you go. Share that with this information with that child of yours. Let them watch the video. You can write down this information and share it. You can go and sit with them at the recruiters if need be, but those are very important. Don't let the recruiters suck you into something you don't want to do, and make sure that one thing you want to do is also what you can do when you get out of the military. That's very, very key. So like I said, I hope this video is helpful. I will be making some more videos coming up next week, so stand by. Hope you have a great day and stay resilient.